Phantasm Ravager from 2016.
Oh yeah.
We've reviewed this before.
Boy.
Garbage, apparently.
John threw it back on the table. The last time we rated this, John was not with us. Rob was not with us. It was me, Jason, and Jared. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Jason gave it a 4 out of 10, and Jared gave it a 7 out of 10. Jason did say it was garbage. He said it several times that it was garbage.
Listen, it got better for me, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that it is a great movie. But I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Summary for this film, the final installment of the long-running Phantasm series.
Is it the final installment?
I think they're still going to make another one.
I like how they could. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
I mean, you kind of got a couple new characters introduced.
I would love it if they did, but
that could pick up.
They would have to do something weird, like make Mike the new tall man, and
that would be rad.
You know, because you don't have Angus anymore. I don't know what they thought were what they didn't have a plan. Knowing Coscarelli,
there's more than one. Is there more than one tall man? Like, are there several?
There's a million of them
of these.
I guess they could digitally just throw him in there. They've already got all
not if it looks like this.
No, not digital. But there are more tall men, right?
Oh yeah, he's infinite.
You could just plug and play. I mean, you got to get someone cool, but I mean, it don't have to be Angus. You know what I mean? Like, give us another,
you mean like
give
Dr.
us another
Who
tall
style.
man.
You know who would be good as a tall man? I've seen him in a recent movie. I forget what it was called, but he was in Highlander. He played the Carpathian.
Clancy Brown?
The Kurgan. He played the Kurgan. Okay.
Yeah, Clancy Brown.
Yeah, he the way he looks now, he looks very similar to Angus Scrimm.
Oh
in
yeah,
one of the
they
movies
did
I
him
saw
up
him in.
the mortuary tales or whatever.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah, that dude.
That was rad.
How about this
that
though?
That was my initial thought as soon as I saw that guy on that the mortuary tales or stories, whatever.
What about?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Collection. I forget.
Take it classy, John Malkovich, right? Huh? John Malkovich could do it. I don't know.
You know what? Honestly, just because he's a great actor and he's fucking super tall, Tom Noonan. That's who I think should play him. He's the guy, Frankenstein from Frankenstein's monster from Monster Squad.
Yep.
And Mindhunter. He's got a stocking over half his face in one of the more famous scenes. I think it was Mindhunter.
Manhunter.
Whatever. Mindhunter. What the fuck am I talking about?
That's what was fucking me up. I'm like, I don't know, man.
It's a badass flick.
Anyway,
it's a Hannibal Lecter movie.
There's 18 years between this movie and Oblivion. Now that we've been given this tour through the Phantasm universe with John, I really appreciate that they got this last piece in the story while Angus was still alive, and they even brought back Rocky at the end. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Well, hold on. We got a tagline here.
Oh shit!
The final game now begins, distributed by Wellgo Entertainment and on Blu-ray through them as well.
It's great to see
which is over like $20. Let me say
it's too much.
I'd pick. I'm gonna have to pick this up just to complete it, but $20, like $20.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
For $20, you can get the box set that has them all in it. That's what I did.
I've been looking. I've been hunting down the Blu-ray. Like, I can't find any for cheap. I can find some of the DVD collections for cheap, but like, I missed out on all the. I don't know why I ever did. Like, it took me forever to get the Anchor Bay DVD. Like, that was out of print forever. Then there's like 3 or 4 different box sets out there, and I really don't know what the difference is. But I was just trying to find any of them, and they're all like stupid money that I can't pay for it. So.
Yeah, I got the first one. I pre-ordered the very first one where it's a drawing of the tall man sitting in his lair and from 3, from Phantasm 3. I saw someone list that for like over $300 or something. I think.
Yeah,
it can get stupid.
Yeah, I was like,
the one with the spear in it is ridiculous. Like that's the one I kind of wanted, but that's ridiculous money.
See, I kind of wanted that one too, but I already had the Blu-ray, and I got the European set from the Anchor Bay that is the ball, the DVD from the what 2010s or whatever. I don't know. One of those things. I was able to go to Best Buy, pay $20 for a DVD player. All I had to do was enter in a code, and it was region free. You know what I mean? So it was like, all right, cool. Whatever year that was, I was able to do that.
This is a movie I think when we first watched it, I had only seen the first movie, and it was years that before that I had seen it or whatever.
It'd been years since I saw 2, 3, and 4. So I I watched one several times. So going from 1 pretty much to Ravager is
it's rough. It's rough,
alarming.
Wow,
it misses just about everything that's in the first one. So
you do need
my last rating of 4 out of 10. That's where that's coming from, and that's still pretty good. I think 4's not bad.
This is for people that have watched all of them. I think. I don't think that you can't. You have to watch.
This is for the fans. This is for the fans.
Yeah, that's why I think that with the summary on IMDb, they weren't even trying to bring new people under the tent at that point. They're like, you guys know what this is, and they give you what you
it's
wanted.
Reggie hunting for Mike. Reggie trying to get laid,
which is crazy ridiculous that he's still trying to pull that shit.
It almost happened too.
I love how
only on the road.
I love how he gets everything. There's so many things I love about it. I love that he gets the CUDA back. He's driving around. He's got his pony knob going out. Still have a problem with that fucking katana that he never uses. God damn it! If you show me a katana, use the katana. I saw it even more this time too.
He packs 150 pounds worth of equipment or worth of weapons into that bag.
Yeah,
he just keeps loading it up. And if you really had to carry that, about 20 minutes in, your shoulder's gonna fall.
This man is 70. This man is 70 something years old. What's he doing? But yeah, I think that the orbs, I let him slide a little bit more on this time. There wasn't really a lot of effects I shit on. I mean, there's problems, but I realized that this was like supposed to be a web series or what? Is that right, John? It was supposed to be some sort of web series.
Yeah, like some of the stuff was already shot, and it was going to be a web series called Reggie Tales. Like, the Veggie Tales, but Reggie Tales.
It's terrible.
I know, going through just like going on like quick adventures. And that's kind of how they shot it too.
They should still do
that. I think the first 10 minutes is actually a really cool piece of business. Reggie gets the car back. The dude who stole the car ends up nearly naked with a sentinel jammed in the back of his skull, spraying blood everywhere. And then Reggie has a driving gun battle with a sentinel, resulting in him running over the car thief's corpse. It's a real great way to start things off. I thought Mike was doing some of his best acting in this movie. Am I wrong?
He wasn't annoying. I'll tell you that. I thought he was.
No, he was really good, especially when he had to get emotional.
Yeah, he did great.
I bought it. Yeah, he crushed it. He's the character.
Yeah,
that's him. He grew up in this shit.
he like really brought home those nursing home scenes, which reminded me a lot of Bubba Hotep. I don't know. It was the same exact feeling I got from that. As I was looking through the IMDb, I was like, checking everybody out. And the actress who plays Dawn is a lady named Dawn Cody. And she had some weird trivia, so I wanted to share it. She's the 5 times removed first cousin of Buffalo Bill William Cody. And she was in a relationship with Dan Harmon from 2003 to 2005. she's this is the thing I really wanted to mention. She's known for, her most known credits are something called Laser Fart and a small role in Pleasantville. Phantasm Ravager isn't even on her top credits. And she was in something called Fagny and Gacy. I just wanted to say that. I wanted you guys to check it out. You can check it out on YouTube. It's actually pretty funny.
You guys looking for a date?
Actually, we're looking for some information.
Ooh, let's start with names. I'm Jackie.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Candy. And that's my real name, too. It's not like some fake hooker name.
It's true. Show me your ID.
Yeah, show 'em.
How about I show you my ID?
Shit.
All right, ladies, settle down.
All right, settle down. We're looking for a pervert. We thought maybe you ladies could help us out.
Oh, I know this guy who reads to me from the Bible in a diaper.
Actually, we're looking for this guy.
Oh, I've seen him. I've seen him at that Mexican restaurant down on Broadway.
Have we eaten there?
I don't think so. On Broadway?
Mexican? No, I don't think so.
On Broadway.
Across the street from the antique store.
What? Antique store?
Antiques? Did you say antique store?
On Broadway? What time do they close? Do you know?
Why would she know? Why are we asking her? She doesn't know.
We'll find it.
But
oh my god,
the things you find
Here
on
comes
IMDb.
the hate mail.
Man.
No, it's the proper tone for it. It's not what you think it's going to be. It's yeah. I found it very weird that Reggie decides he's going to write Dawn a song, and then it takes sitting here at midnight and writes this song about putting his arms around her.
Know it.
Yeah, but like he just meets her and he's singing about putting his arms around her and shit. He could have just sang.
I mean, it worked. She came back down. He was
That's true.
asleep.
But he was
He nailed it. He nailed it. Almost.
She met
Yeah.
she met an unfortunate fate.
Mhm.
I thought it was cool that they brought Kathy Lester back as the Lady in Lavender, even though she's had quite a bit of cosmetic surgery and doesn't really look the same at all. She looked completely different. The Giant Sentinel was really cool visual. I really didn't have too many problems with most of this stuff. I let it go. Maybe it was because we've watched so much terrible shit since the last time we watched this that I was just letting it go. Or maybe I was just having a lot of fun with my Phantasm friends and didn't give a shit because I've grown to love this franchise and I can let a lot of stuff go at this point. Yeah, but if you watch this right out of the box without seeing anything else, I can't even imagine.
My God. God.
The character Chunk is great, played by Stephen Jutras.
Is it Chunk? I thought it was.
It was Chunk.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, are they saying Chunk?
Yeah, it's Chunk.
I couldn't quite hear it right. I don't know.
But he really hasn't done much else. This is kind of one of his main credits. It's such a badass moment when the tall man comes out in the hallway, has all those gravers and lurkers around him, and Reggie backs up into him basically, and then Mike comes in and fucking blasts him with a rocket or whatever it was. What was that? Like a missile launcher?
RPG.
Bazooka. Yeah.
There's some troublesome CG, but god damn it, I'm having fun. I love it when Jody comes back at the end. Even though they're surrounded by Windows 98 screensaver fire. The mid-end credits sequence where Chunk comes out of the portal, somehow surviving blowing himself to smithereens. He's missing an arm, but he meets Rocky. They hop in the car with all the rest of the guys, and they drive off into the horrible landscape behind them with orbs everywhere. And that leads me to an irritating feeling of I'm never going to get anything else, I don't think I'm ever going to get.
See, you could have said the irritating feeling that they're not going to stop, that they're going to keep. I mean, that kind of sets up for the next movie.
I want them to make another one. I want them to.
You're going to get it.
I don't think so, man. Not with the same recipe. It's going to be some weird. We're getting into
this recipe.
You remember when National Lampoons started making when National Lampoons started making all those weird ones, those weird off movies. that's what's going to start happening if they continue this, because it won't be Coscarelli in there. He's already given, on this one, he gave the director job to somebody else. He just wrote it. So, he'll be dipping pretty soon. Reggie's getting very old. We'll see. 7 out of 10. That's what I gave it.
So. All right. Yeah. So this is second time viewing. And like I said, this time we just went through 1 through 4. So everything's fresh in my mind. And what you mentioned, you're hanging out with your friends. That's basically what this is. This is for the fans. Yeah, the people that that know the characters. Like, Reggie is great in this, but if you don't know who Reggie is, if you haven't watched him progress, and he's making his cheesy one lines and just the humor in this movie, like, you're just going to think it's garbage, basically.
Yeah, you have to have a relationship with these people.
Like, dude, I'm sorry about your horse or something like that.
Yeah,
like that's great coming from Reggie. I know Reggie. He's a friend. I know what he means. It's still not a great movie. It's not. It's good. It's fun. There's just so much jumping around. Like, it's hard for me to keep track of what world they're jumping back and forth in. It's hard for me to even pay attention. Like, I just kind of almost checked out. Like, he's jumping around so much. Reggie's awesome. There's lots of funny parts. There's some cool visual stuff in this. That the world and stuff that's going on around them now, or in whatever happened, the apocalypse type world. It's cool, cool to look at. So when they're in that like all white room, and Angus is talking, you hear the tall man deliver probably his longest speech ever, like on screen. Like it seems like he's going on just him talking for a good 5 minutes. I missed a lot of what he said because I'm looking at his skin, like how much makeup they have on him or whatever they did. I don't know if they did some CG on his face or what, but I found myself kind of like not paying attention to what he was saying and just looking at his face. I had to rewind it and find out what was going on, but
I kept thinking, like, dude needs chapstick. Like, his lips were just boy.
Well, I know he looks horrible when he's laying in the bed when they're the home or resting home or whatever.
That was no makeup and all that stuff.
Like, so when he's standing in that all white room talking, I'm just like mesmerized by his face. I'm just trying to figure out like how they went from this to that. But no, this is another solid entry in this franchise. Like, every one of these movies are good. I can find that they're my friends now. I'm definitely going to get 2 through 5 now. I'll probably just wait until I can find a set that I can afford. I gave it a 6 out of 10. So 2 points higher on the second viewing.
There you go. John?
Yeah. This one. All right.
He's going to shit all over our friends.
No, I mean,
he loves them. They're his friends.
Dude, they're fucking PH family, man. That's what they are. But like this one, I understand all of the circumstances surrounding this movie, but I feel like it could have been done better. It could have looked better. All that unnecessary CG, like that fucking when they're going down the street, when they do the fast zoom from Reggie to Reggie, but they go through the Apocalypse Street or Red Planet Street, and there you see Don Coscarelli and Dan Hartman firing their machine guns. They look like fucking Doom characters, like Doom 2.
Yeah, it does look
like it was just out of place. Like, and Dan Hartman apparently is an animation director, so I think he directed like Transformers and stuff. I was like, that's cool. This ain't a fucking cartoon, man.
You can totally
this is
tell
fucking Phantasm.
that you can totally tell that most of his credits are cartoons and a few Rob Zombie music videos. Like you can just tell it's right there in front of you.
And that's fine. That's fine. Stay in your lane, dude. Like, sorry, but this was not that enjoyable. Like, I did like it this time around.
Pissed.
but I'm also just like,
I get it. Yeah, this is your favorite franchise, so
I'm pissed, but it can't be helped. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no resolving this.
Does it piss you off that to me it seemed like they were trying to take everything that's happened in this whole franchise and make it
Reggie.
The insane delusions of a dying man. Like, he's been having these delusions the whole time he's been in this hospital, but the whole apocalypse and the fire and all that stuff and how shit's going up in flames at the end, like, that's him dying. And he's just going out in a blaze of glory. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like they were trying to undercut all the work they did to just put it inside Reggie's head for some reason.
Yeah. And like that whole scene of him actually dying, spoiler alert, in the hospital bed, like, that was a really good scene. Like, I got choked up on that scene. That was very well done, and the music was really good too. Like, that whole sequence was solid. I had no problem with the acting. They're all a little bit older. They're slowing down. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Angus, they did what they could while they had him. He died during this production. There's lots of CG Angus in that. If you look in the scene with that bazooka or the RPG, you see the face, but it's not the same shadow that's cast on the wall, because one of the first trailers there, you see like a far away stand-in, but with like a wig and all that kind of stuff on. You know what I mean? But then they, after Angus passed, they CG'd his face. I really liked what he was able to do in this film. Was he was in bad shape the whole time, but this was like Angus's last hurrah. So, and he went out pretty good. He was the tall man till the end, which was, you can't ask for much more. Like, he's up there with the Mummy and Dracula and stuff for me.
John, don't get choked up. Don't cry. You're gonna make me cry.
And then Maggie laughed. She's such a trooper. But
he was in rough shape, and I swear to God, we got the longest screen time, the longest dialogue from the tall man.
Yeah,
of all these movies.
He delivered some really good monologues, like especially you're just sacks of meat
and water.
Yeah. And what they really did was they blended some ideas from Roger Avery's Phantasm script and Stephen Romano's Phantasm script and kind of blended them together, like with the whole hospital aspect, except it was in Stephen Romano's script, I believe it was Mike in the hospital, like in 2, but something like he was back in it again or something like that. I can't remember 100%. I've read Roger Avery's. I have a copy of it. It's really cool. That's where there's a big scene with the bunch of tall men, but it was a little more than that. It was like, that was a quick pan, you know what I'm saying? But you kind of see them all gang up on somebody, and that was, well, in your head, it wasn't made. In your mind's eye, it was a really well written. But I mean, the effects killed it for me. And I understand. There was literally like no budget for this. Zero. There was like probably less than there was for Oblivion. I couldn't find one listed, but I mean, so they're not going to get way to CGI, but I just felt like they could have just had a dude sit on the roof and like with a fucking thing for some close-ups, you know, like, with a fishing pole and the damn sphere, put a green screen behind it, fucking do, you know, shoot out the window, you know, like something funny like that, you know, like at least it's real. But they did what they could. Reggie Bannister did like probably all the sphere effects, at least the practical ones. His wife, you know, like she is a producer, she's a effects artist, like she does a lot of shit. She's done a lot of shit. I think they met on the set of one of these ones. I can't remember, but
I didn't think it looked that bad.
Really?
Yeah, like
they just look so out of place.
Some of the ones in the earlier movies, I mean, they look janky, like they look clumsy.
These definitely look like Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah. I know.
It was just like so much lower quality.
I let it go though. I was having fun. Whatever, fuck it.
Yeah. I still understand though. Like it's this weird duality with me where it's like I understand, but I fucking fanboy out and hate it. But I get it. I'm not gonna go toxic. Fuck Phantasm. You know that. I'm not. Come on. Like fucking no. That's stupid. This doesn't kill the series. It's just like the least sequel of the series. You know, and man, fucking the way I feel like they abused Rocky, as far as they brought her back for fucking 1 minute.
Why wasn't she with them the whole?
I think they brought everyone back that they could that was still alive. I mean,
I know.
Why wasn't she? Why was she in the mid post credits shit? Why wasn't she? At least from the middle of the movie, whenever they all unveil their hoods and shit, she could have been right there.
Right, she could have taken it. She could have taken them out.
She
could have taken out some dwarves.
She could fit Phantasm in the schedule.
You
make room for Phantasm.
You do. You come and do it for free. I loved the CUDA, what they call it, the battle wagon. I call it the battle CUDA, but that thing looked really cool. That was a real cool design. I think Dan Hartman's wife did that. Like she modded the CUDA. Like she was in charge of doing that. So I thought she did a real cool job on that. Mike's powers, you get to see him for like a second. His eyes go over like so bad. So bad. Why you gotta do me like that? I'm not expecting contacts, but it was just like like it after just like a premiere free trial transition, like right into like noticeably gold, and then it just the gold sphere just flies away, flitters off, and then Chunk just like, okay, I'm gonna blow up this tall man. But I mean, John. They did what they listen. They squeezed out.
I'm waiting to hear this fanboy story.
They squeezed out another Phantasm before Angus died. They did what they could. So I give them like really mad props for that, and that's like half my rating.
It's going to end up being a 9. Watch.
Nah, I give it a 5. Just as a viewing experience, it's a 5. It just looked too clean, like too polished. I feel like, you know what? In Final Cut, throw that grain filter on there, like 0.1. Just give me something like barely noticeable, but you know something's there. Like just give me like a 0.1 notch. Just give me a bam.
Hit that blur effect a little bit. Blur it a little bit.
I mean, oh God, poor Angus. poor Angus, the lighting around him, they look like they slapped a trowel of Vaseline on the lens. Like in the when Homer Simpson was getting them boudoir photos, his photographer was like, "Light is not your friend," and she slapped a whole jar of Vaseline on the lens. But yeah, it's a 5. I'm glad it exists. I mean, not every film in this series can be the first or fourth one, so it is what it is.
How would you order them, like favorite to least favorite?
Favorite to least favorite. Phantasm, Oblivion, 3, 2, Ravager. And that's not, please understand, I really do like 2. It's a sweet looking movie. But I mean, it's just, it's Mike or nothing for me. That dude,
yeah.
When he came back in part 3, I like shit.
Part 3 is my favorite one.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, just to see him back, like almost like sort of like a version of the same haircut he had as a kid, just 90s up, you know. Like it was so cool. It was so cool.
Do you want him to stop here, or do you want him to throw something else together?
I feel like there's a lot of story to tell, especially with the end of the movie. So like, you know, multiple realities. I think like one Reggie died. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like when I first saw it, I was like, after I watched it a couple times and I really had to like get my fucking head around it. After waiting how many
18 years,
18 years, 2 years shy of 2 decades, I had to like really wrap my fucking head around what I just saw, because I've been trying to wrap my head around for those 18 years to like really, and I finally, not that long before Ravager came out, came to terms in my head with like, okay, this is what happened at the end of 4, but now there's Ravager, so let's see how they go with it. And it was just like,
yeah,
here's a cartoon.
Basically. Rob, what's your rating and review?
I would give it a solid 8. I really dug the movie simply because, you know, it was the final one, and I'm always the person that roots for the villain, and so I see the movie kind of a bit differently. Like, for instance, the hospital scenes. I believe that the tall man was inside of Reggie's head, and this was the tall man trying to break Reggie for good and to get him to give up hope. And of course, and then when Reggie finally dies, instead of being dead, basically what it was going to was, that was him getting away from the tall man's mind control and coming back to the wonderful reality, which is the tall man has won. He has destroyed the entire world, and there's zero hope for the heroes. This is one movie franchise where the heroes lose completely, utterly. There's no way they can beat the tall man. They're all going to die, and this is their last hurrah, driving off to whatever sunset before the giant sentinel spears, which there's probably millions of them. And they've got this tiny little car with weapons. Good luck, guys. This thing can take out a building, and you're in this tiny little car. You know, just one beam. I mean, you're gone.
They were organized like loosely, at least. I mean, there were jets fighting them and shit. You know what I mean? They kind of had like their own like Terminator resistance going on. And I wouldn't. And if they got to make more, I wouldn't mind seeing like that. Right. Tales from the Battlefield. You know, if you're gonna go forward, yeah.
I would love to see another one though. I mean, I get a kick out of this series.
I really don't know where they'd go with it. I feel like the only logical way to go would be like a reboot,
animated
akin
series.
to how 2 was, or that would. An animated series.
I'm down with a reboot. I want a new tall man. Give me
they almost
tall
have
man
to.
that you can get another 20 years out of.
Yeah, I mean, like they, you know how they set up the beginning of 2 with Liz, where her and Mike were like psychically linked to the tall man somehow. You know what I mean? So it's like it could all like, and there's infinite dimensions. You get all he has to do is just like someone wake up from a dream right now, and that's the beginning of the new movie. They just dreamt about fucking this reality's tall man and Mike and
I know,
and
you could just have somebody who's like totally he read up about all this shit the tall man did and did it himself, and then now he's any number of things. It's easy to bring it back.
Yeah, like someone could he could break into the dimension and see what what happened. Like, and the same thing happens to him. But what's funny in the Roger Avery script, I can't remember if we got into this on the Oblivion podcast or not, but he gives a definite, like, here is the tall man. This is what he is.
Yeah.
And he's basically this head with like tentacles. And he's strapped into this like apparatus, like each tentacle in like a clasp. And he's projecting images. And it's basically like the Thing, like Angus's head, but like the Thing style. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then he's projecting images of himself. That's why he just keeps going and going and going. Well, in that, they destroy this lens so he can't ever invade their world again. And that was the only thing keeping their world apart, was this magic lens or something the tall man created. And the worlds converge. And then Reggie ends up in a room surrounded by the tall man. And he's standing in front of a mirror, and this giant hand just pulls him out into the darkness. That's how that script ends.
Nice.
So it was like a bleak ending for Reggie, and it was post-apocalyptic too. It was the nation was divided into 2, and the plague they talked about. That was the whole premise of that one, of the Roger Avery script, was the plague.
Wow.
And how it affected the world.
So basically 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, at the time it was called Phantasm 2012 AD.
Nice.
Yeah, at that point in time.